day 1 of this workshop and webinar encoding program. Now we are going to understand what this day 1 is including. So we'll start with an affirmation, and this affirmation says, don't believe in plan B. So you might feel like, yeah, what's this? But you understand, our neuroscientists have proved that your brain has two parts. One is the subconscious mind and one is the conscious mind. So your conscious mind is being fed by your subconscious mind, correct? So if you keep yourself an alternate, that means your subconscious mind is always pushing your conscious mind to not do the first thing. So never believe in plan B. You should be having only one plan and you should be fighting for it. And that is how the achievers have got success. So this is an affirmation. We believe in that and you also need to do that. So the affirmation says again, don't believe in plan B. Let's move forward. So now the agenda of this particular day, in which we are going to talk about the planning, the objectives and the research, correct? So let's talk about the planning first. So what are you planning for? So you are planning to decide your objectives for the webinar or the workshop which you are going to do. You are going to formulate the offer. You are going to see how you are going to give value to your customers, what tools and technologies you are going to use, and what are your ROI is going to be. So that is a part of planning. Then we'll talk about the objectives. So what is the objective of doing a webinar or a workshop? So I'll tell you, webinar or the workshop is the latest and the foolproof system to get qualified leads. Qualified leads means anybody could be a lead, but when somebody is already in trust with you, he knows or she knows you, you are well acquainted with the services and you are also aware of what your customer wants. That means that particular lead becomes a quality lead. So here we are going to talk about what and how you're going to attract new leads, how you're going to get quality clientele, how you're going to sell a product or a service, then how you're going to book appointments. At times it is not necessarily required that your client is going to buy immediately. So they'll be having a lot of questions in their mind. So how they are going to book appointments so that you clarify their doubts and you move forward, correct? And you help them making a correct decision. Now, again, the objective is to create a brand of yourself, as well as you have to enhance the followers. In digital media, you know, the more you have followers, the more is the algorithm which is taking you to more and more people, because that connections, you know, multiplies. Now, how you're going to refine your sales process? The sales process again is not that easy. At times something may work, at times something may not. So you have to keep on refining that process. This is also again an objective of this particular course. Now, last but not the least, you will have to build connections and influence. So anybody who becomes an influencer is an achiever. And you know what? In any of the field, if you see a person who has already reached that threshold, they become a celebrity, they become an influencer, and the business now pours into them automatically. Whether it is, you know, just see an example of all the celebrities, whether they are actors, they are players, they are politicians, they are any achievers, they are musicians, they are dancers, whoever they are. The moment they reach that level, they become an influencer. So the objective of this particular workshop or the webinar program is containing all this. Now we'll move forward with the research part. So whenever we start something, that is a saying that you have to know the ins and outs of anything and everything which you are going to do. And this is business. This is damn bloody business, wherein people are not going to shed money for anything. You have to give value. And how you're going to give value? By understanding all those things around your customers. So this comes under the research part. So we have differentiated this research part into 3 verticals, which is your customer persona or customer avatar, people call it. Then you have product positioning or the market positioning, and the third is the competitor analysis. So customer avatar is what? Customer avatar is about understanding your customers. Now the detail will be shared again in different PDFs or Word document, but understanding customer is like knowing your customers ins and outs. what the customer is thinking in his mind, what's the back of his mind, that you need to understand. It's not about just selling a product or service. It's about, first of all, understanding your customers and the real anxieties, the pain for which they have come for you. I know sales is all about understanding that particular pain and giving a solution, right? Empathetically. People will be ready to pay you once they understand that they are going to get a solution to their problems, or they are going to elevate themselves in any other way. Maybe in lifestyle, maybe in knowledge, maybe in esteem value or anything, right? Now, when we talk about customer avatar, there are multiple criteria that we are going to talk later, on which we have to understand where our customer is, what he likes, what he does not like, and all those blah 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 things. So we'll take it in the next one. Now, when I talk about product positioning and the market, so I define it and differentiate it into two different categories, which is the market research and the marketing research. Market research is the traditional data or the historical data which is already present based on the past record of that particular product and service, right? So till then, whatever data you can pull it, that will give you a trend of how the things are moving on, what customers likes and what customer doesn't like. And the second part, which is the critical part of this research, is the marketing research, in which we try to understand with certain again tools to know what customer is willing to go for, what is he looking for the next. So market and marketing research is, when combined, gives you the product positioning, right? So you can position your product based on what primarily the customer has opted for and what next he is going to do. So that product positioning is again a mind game which you need to understand with your research, so that you position your product in the particular void where the customer will come and just pick your product, right? Now, third is competitor analysis. Competitor analysis means what? What are your competitors doing? First of all, who your competitors are, number one, what they are doing which you are not doing, and what they are doing to get better and better revenue, which might help you. So there are two ways of doing it. One, just keep on following what your customers are doing, but again you will be in that race, which we don't prefer, wherein we prefer you to understand what your customers are not doing, and you need to do that, which is going to help your customers. What your competitors are not doing, you have to do that thing, so that your customers are more attracted towards you, right? And how you can, let's say, create a package solution for your customers, which maybe your competitors are not doing, correct? So there has to be a differentiating element between your competitors and you, so that your customers come to you rather than going to your competitors, right? So we have talked about the market and marketing research. We have also covered the competitor analysis and the customer avatar. So the customer persona. So if you combine all these things collectively, give you the research of the business which you are going to do. So once you are done with all this, you will be able to make a good product for the void which is already there in the market. And if I talk about again different theories which has been given, we call it a blue ocean strategy, in which you differentiate yourself. You don't get into the list of people who are already doing. You don't get into the crowd of people having similar kind of services. We tell you to create and differentiate yourself with the competition, so that your customer directly comes to you. And that is what we are going to talk later on in this particular module, wherein we'll be talking about niche and micro niche marketing as well. So that's all in this particular day one. We're looking forward with this particular homework. Now we are giving you an assignment which says that you have to decide your objective. So what's your primary and the secondary objective for your workshop or webinar? Please give statements, a bold statement and a brief description of that. That is how you're going to define your primary and secondary objective. Correct? So thank you so much. Looking forward for day 2. Bye-bye.